My man. I think you're still muted at the moment.
There we go.
Good man.
I've
Welcome.
been talking to myself.
Holy shit.
All right.
Is this
Hello.
is this inconvenient for you? Like you were planning to go on a run before, right?
Well, life happens. It's all right.
All right. Thank you.
The whole day has been inconvenient for me, but look,
Damn. Run me
we
through it.
show
What
up
what did you get done
anyways.
today?
It was, oh, I basically just went to work and then just came back from work.
Mm,
But it was, I made multiple mistakes and I dealt with like a a customer who was not it.
yeah.
And yeah, I was a bit like shell shocked. I was like, what the
Oh,
fuck just happened? um, and yeah, I made multiple mistakes that aren't major, but are like deeply embarrassing.
hmm.
So for one of them, because it's like a sales role, I'll just go over this real quick. I literally we leave notes of like the clients we're talking to before they are paying customers. So we leave notes just in case any other of our colleagues read it and then need to help this client out or something. Normally we leave really detailed like dot points and like, okay, lives in the area, looking for a gym, something, been doing gyms in the past, moving into running. Yeah, leave like really detailed notes. Some people may throw in some comments like difficult to deal with or really short answers, very blunt or something like that.
Hmm.
So I'm leaving that note, but I accidentally sent it as a text message to the person.
Oh, damn.
As soon as I clicked it, I left extensive notes. This was like 2 or 3 paragraphs. I sent it, and then I clicked save, right? Or what I thought was save, and then I looked down. It says SMS sent,
Oh,
and I was like, "Oh my god!" So I
yeah.
just sat there for a second. But of course, uh, the lucky thing is, which is also I guess I controlled, by my own normal, what I normally do. My notes are super tame. Like, I just write what's objectively true.
Mm,
I never say anything shit, basically.
hmm.
If you don't talk shit about people, you don't get burned. Even when something catastrophic like this happens. I just sent over the things like moved over from the UK, lives in the area. Objection was that they're still discussing, and it's like it's the most like boring scientific annotation of a meeting. But yeah, obviously it was like, oh my god, I've never done this in my life. I sent like an apology.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah,
But yeah,
no, it's
there were multiple things that were like, yeah, that caliber of stupid. But it's not the end of the world. I
yeah,
had like massive panic when it first happened, but then I was like, oh, but who cares? They're
good
gonna
man.
forget it in like a day.
Yeah. You controlled the anxiety. You didn't let yourself go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
for a
right.
second I
No,
thought that, yeah,
I just went off. No, you go, you go.
you went off. Yeah, for a second I thought you sent the description of like one of the clients that were not it. Like that had a lot of negative descriptions of them. And that
Yeah,
would have been like a different story.
exactly, exactly.
Shit.
I tend not to leave like negative notes. But sometimes you gotta remind yourself, like, okay, this person was difficult to deal with. That's normally what I would
Mm.
write, or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
that's
but
true.
yeah, it was a long day at work, but we got it done, and I was with Leo, so I
Good
had a friend with
times.
me. It was good
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
Bad.
What's happened?
What's happened? Well, yesterday we hung out, just for context, for whoever's listening. And we had a we had a sauna session around, I don't know, what was it, 12 p.m. or something. And after that, I felt kind of lightheaded. But I realized that I lost a lot of energy, physical energy, after that session because I usually do it at night. And maybe
Mm,
my body just wasn't used to it at that time of day, or maybe, you know, like the temperature was a bit too high. But I just when I came home from the library around 5, 5:30, um, my levels of energy and motivation were at an all-time low. I just
right.
knocked out for an hour, and I don't know what happened, but I lost all momentum. Um, so I spent like that night just going on Instagram. I logged into my old account. I was, like watching reels, watching videos, and just indulging myself in all the cheap pleasures that I used to indulge in. And I felt like shit. Um, by the time I was meant to be sleeping, and then I think some of that energy carried into today. So I tried to
Mm,
end yesterday on a semi good note. I ran through my regular nightly routine. I did everything on the checklist, and I tried to. It wasn't a proper meditation session, but when I'm sleeping, or when I'm trying to sleep, I try to reduce the amount of thoughts in my head. Um,
right.
and then this morning, I tried to do a proper morning routine, did some meditation, but yeah, I feel like I'm still sort of recovering from yesterday's um yesterday's indulgence. And yeah, it just made me realize that it takes a long time to build up good habits, but overnight you can just ruin it. So I'm just trying to um, do a bit of damage control and not let that affect the rest of my day. So just before hopping on this call, I was feeling kind of low energy, but I just tried to hype myself up. I was just like talking to myself and, like summoning a bit more energy. So now I'm feeling a bit better. Yeah.
Okay, mate. That's really interesting. I feel the exact same way. I don't actually. Do you know what happened yesterday? Why did that happen? Is it because we fried ourselves a bit too hard? Because
Potentially.
afterwards, yesterday, I came back and I just watched YouTube shorts for like 2 hours.
Holy shit.
But I guess I kind of let myself do it, and I didn't feel too bad yesterday actually because
Mhm.
I had a very good diet, like nutrition.
Yep.
So that's one of like the main things for me that I want to control right now. So that actually felt really good. And we had really, really fantastic exercise and the sauna session, of course, and the deep work. So I was pretty happy with yesterday. But
Mm.
yeah, after I came back, like I was cooked and I just kind of chilled. I ate a really early dinner. But yeah, like in terms of content wise and the amount of writing I got done at home, it was like nothing.
Mm.
I just sat there watching. It was the
Yeah.
first time I was watching something in the kitchen while eating my food in a really long time.
Ooh.
Because I normally just listen to podcasts or do nothing.
Yeah.
Um, but
I
yeah,
remember
so
you talking about it, how if you eat and you're watching something, it can become a slippery slope. But I'm
yeah,
glad that
yeah,
you were able to control that.
yeah. So it was actually really good because yeah, normally when I double consume, when I'm like listening or watching something and trying to eat food at the same time or drink something, like I lose track of what I'm consuming. So I'm mindless and then I can binge eat or binge watch. But yesterday it was kind of like controlled binge watching and my food was very limited because I just got a fucking humongous bowl and dumped in 3 servings of salad, like like fine cut coleslaw from Woolies that was like ginormous volume for such low calories. And there's so much fiber. It's like rock solid cabbage, right? So you have to chew forever. And then I had
Holy shit.
95.5 ultra lean ground pork, like pork mince. and I threw that in with some kimchi. So it was a bomb ass meal just sitting there.
Mate.
I could just munch on that for ages. It felt like a shit ton of food because it was. But yeah, then I was full at the end, but
Like
there was
0 calories in the salad, dude.
yeah.
Man's eating
So it
air.
was just pork mince, extra lean pork mince and salad. So that's like whenever I eat that like that, I always feel like why don't I do this every fucking day? Um, and then I don't do it every day. So it's kind of stupid. I gotta reintroduce that.
Mm,
Uh, but yeah, like on that point, do you do you know why we kind of both cooked up? Is it just because we pushed ourselves a bit far mentally and physically yesterday? Is it like we in that sauna session towards the end we were all kind of struggling?
mm.
Is it that we actually drained too much willpower
That's
and
interesting.
then yeah, like and
I
then we
wonder
just
if it's a willpower thing or if it's a purely physiological thing. Maybe a mixture of both.
probably a
Um,
mixture.
yeah, I do realize with me, my body tends to respond to a sauna with a lot of fatigue afterwards. And usually at night, it's not a bad fatigue. It's one that when you're just like mellowed out, you're like super chill and you're just getting ready to wind down before bed.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
find that it's really helpful for me to um, do a sauna sesh right before I shower and do my nightly routine because I just fall asleep in like a few minutes.
Yeah. No, that
And
that makes sense because you'd be riding the drop in body temperature.
mm, yeah, I think Huberman did suggest to take saunas a bit later in the day. So I'm not sure if all of those athletes or like did you mention Chris Williamson does 110-degree saunas or some shit?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
wonder
So
what
he
time
does
of day he does that.
he does 230 Fahrenheit saunas,
Yeah,
which is like
cooked.
110 degrees or something.
That's actually cooked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what's his protocol around that and what's uh like the rationale behind it. But
Mm,
yeah, maybe it is yeah because we kind of sauntered really hard. It wasn't just like a short quick session.
yeah.
For us, it was pretty tough, especially after exercise.
Yeah.
Um, at a pretty early hour, and then we mentally drained ourselves in the library as well.
Yeah. For me, yesterday, because I'm currently nursing the knee and wrist injury, I haven't been able to exert myself in the past, 1 to 2 weeks. So physically, I think I feel
Oh,
kind of shit. And yeah, this is something that I got used to after the neck injury about 5 months ago. Um, but yeah, I recently came off a call with Caleb, and he was running through my rehab, and I'm good to cycle, so I'm going to be doing a lot of zone 2 cycling, and I think
oh
that will
shit!
tremendously help my mental health as well.
This guy's about to become a zone 2 beast. He can't. He's not allowed to do more than zone 2.
Man, I'm going to be living in zone 2 for the next week because my cardiovascular health has been dropping. And yeah, I definitely noticed I'm not as focused. This past week hasn't been great in terms of deep work. Um,
Hmm.
I've been, yeah, losing track of some of the habits. And I've noticed some negative self-talk sort of creeping up. Like I can control a lot of I guess, the verbalizing them into reality,
Hmm.
but I can't really clamp down on a lot of the negative self thoughts um, as well. So yeah, I think a lot of that boils down to my lack of sufficient exercise.
Right. Yeah. I feel very similar lately, but I'm not sure. I think for me it might be because of like not enough sleep, like inadequate rest.
Mm,
But what you said sounds very similar to what I'm feeling right now. Like
yeah,
just like the lack of focus. I find my mind wandering a lot. Maybe it's also I haven't been meditating as much. It's I think my mindfulness is dropping
Mm.
like massively. And the fact that today I made so many like stupid mistakes as well. It's like it's unlike me. I make mistakes normally, but not this many. Um
You're generally a
yeah,
very focused individual.
not really, but on certain tasks, yes. If
Mm.
that makes sense. Like I'm very selectively focused, but when I am focused, like I am focused.
Mm.
But yeah, recently, like it's almost seems like nothing I can focus on properly, and it's pretty tough. Which is why I actually really enjoyed the yesterday, because in those moments I couldn't think of anything else. When we were running, when we were in the sauna, like it's fucking difficult to think of anything else. So I liked that.
Yep.
But yeah, maybe I don't know. It's what do you think we're supposed to do from here though?
Yeah, that's a good question.
What are you going to do for yours?
I think I'm not going to sauna early during the day for now
Mm,
until
okay.
I sort of understand my body's response a little bit better because I've only started saunaing like over the past 2 months or so, maybe
Right.
even less than that. And yeah, right now doing sauna like towards the end of the day is really working well for me. In terms of exercise, um, yeah, like I can't push too hard for running right now still. So we're making slow progress. I'm good to do a 1 kilometer run later on this week, but I'll
Mm.
be living on the bike mainly. Um,
Fuck. I want to cycle with you.
yeah,
Mate, we've
dude.
still not cycled together ever.
Yeah, dude. What's crazy is I haven't even cycled outside yet, like on my road bike. The
It's
front
just been
wheel,
living.
yeah, I mean, the back wheel has not been used once.
That's wild, right? It's been living on your Wahoo kicker.
It's true. Yeah. So one day we have to do an actual cycle outside. That'll be
Yeah.
sick. It feels like a
I haven't
morning.
cycled in a while. It's been like a
Yeah, you've been
week,
focusing a
like
lot on
two
running.
weeks. Yeah. I mean, that's the specialization we're going for right now.
Mm.
Kind of specialization. Not really.
Do
I
you
don't know.
think
What
that,
else? Go,
yeah,
go.
do you think that you will be mainly sticking with running until the half marathon, or will you be sprinkling in some cycling in between that?
I want to cross train, but I don't know how. As in my time wise. Like I physically know how, but
Right.
right now the amount of time I'm spending either at work or at uni or writing or recording this thing or in the city, it's like where the fuck am I gonna pull another cycling time out of my ass?
That's true.
Um, yeah.
How
So,
far away is Richmond from the Kunong Trail? Or does the trail go through Richmond?
oh, interesting. I don't know. I'll have to search that up after. But what are you suggesting? Like cycle to work or cycle from work?
Yeah, both. That I feel
That
like that'll be pretty sick. How
I
long is your commute usually?
I've thought of that. Usually my commute, if it's in peak hour, it's like 45 to 50 minutes driving.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty long.
Yeah. Uh non-peak hour it's like 20 to 25 minutes
Okay,
driving. Um it's about 20 kilometers by car. As a cycle, that's not that bad, but the only issue is a lot of the times I finish at like 8:30 p.m.
right.
and I'd be fucking drained already. And especially on the days, I mean, I don't have to, I guess I don't have to cycle on the days when I also lift. Um, but yeah, even then, because on the days I don't lift, I run.
Right.
So so if I run, and then I cycle to work, and then at 8 p.m. I have to cycle home from work. bro, I'm actually going to like pass out.
Holy shit.
So at my
That's sort
current
of
fitness level, this
mileage.
is not a practical solution, but I really want to do it, you know?
Yeah.
Like it would be really cool. So maybe once in a while I could like switch the run for the cycle, but then I don't want to compromise my running.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
Although,
you can tell this is something I haven't thought about whether or not the Kunong Trail goes there, but I've thought like about cycling to work.
yeah. Yeah, I guess that wouldn't work out logistically, but I just did a quick search and Fitness First is very, very close to the Yarra River. So yeah, there's probably a trail
Oh
there,
yeah,
but
it
it looks
is.
so
Yeah.
long, man. Because that shit winds
I
back
mean,
and
yeah, it's
forth.
probably more than 20K.
Yeah, probably a lot
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, because it's not a straight line. Um,
Yeah.
like the distance isn't that bad for just a one way,
Yeah.
but it's the fact that I have to go back every day.
Yeah, especially at like 8:30 or 9. Man's gonna be getting home at like 10.
Yeah, that's a bit messed.
That's the thing.
So
There
yeah,
are so many
normally
things.
by the end of the day, I really love just like driving back.
Right, you've just got the tunes
Do we
playing.
just like completely talk over each other?
That's the thing with Zoom, because there's like a delay. I think there's at least a 1 second delay. So yeah, we're just gonna have to roll with it.
All right, what's the next topic? Real quick.
I was gonna mention um recovery, like not being able to recover fast enough, because for me, I wanna over this year focus on running, gym, and jujitsu, and potentially cycling. Um,
Holy shit. Yeah.
but like with those three things even, it's already so difficult for my body to recover in time, which is why I have so many injuries. So I don't know how these athletes do it.
Well, I mean, first off, it's probably genetically, these are specimens. But then second, a lot of them are on something. Yeah. Obviously not all of them, but yeah, like a lot of I'm pretty sure a lot of like enhancements, like pharmacological enhancements are not for just like, looking gigantic, because that's not a benefit for most of the sports. A lot of them are just to aid in recovery.
Right.
Like obviously I don't know what compounds they're using, but like yeah, a lot of people are using whether it's legal or illegal substances that just aid in recovery probably. Because that's actually way more beneficial to get another session in than to, you know, look bigger or something.
Mm,
Like the classic um the stereotype is like, oh yeah, just the steroids make you huge, but that doesn't help in like 90% of sports.
right.
I'm pretty sure they're just using crazy ways of recovery that we have no clue about. So that's why it's like they've all been doing the ice bath and all that shit.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously that's like one small part of it.
So what you're
But yeah, I
saying
think
is
that's not what I'm saying. Well, next time I see you, it's like, wait, how come my guy looks different? It's been 2 weeks. Why have you gained 35 pounds of pure lean tissue?
Mate, it's all in the creatine, I'm telling you.
Holy shit. Oh, I haven't been taking creatine as consistently, but pretty consistent.
Is there any
But yeah, I guess
reason?
like
Like, is it just not benefiting you as much, or you just forget?
I don't know. Sometimes I don't want to hold that water weight because
Ah,
like
yeah.
recently, because of my slightly shitter sleep, because I've been slacking a bit, especially in the last week when work was really hectic. Um, and then I'm eating more carbs because that's like when I'm sleep deprived, I've realized I really crave carbs, like
Mm,
shit carbs. Then apparently, like the research says this is pretty common,
yep.
which is kind of cringe, but
You,
it's how I respond. And then in my head, I don't know whether or not it's actually going to be impactful, but the creatine is going to help me hold even more water weight, so I feel even more bloated, with the high carbs or the high creatine, just be a, like puffed puddle.
Off daddy.
That's me. But yeah, like on the recovery front, d- I feel like you could just slowly build up to them one by one instead of trying to do all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think building up like a baseline level of musculature at the gym will allow me to just, maintain a decent level uh, of strength and resilience in my body. That will probably help with all of the other disciplines as well. But it's just like, yeah, it's hard to just focus on one thing at a time because I'm always so impatient. I'm like wanting to get good at all these things all at once.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's my biggest weakness, I think, in the fitness realm.
Are you eating enough right now? I'm eating too much and you're not eating enough.
Yeah. So right now, I haven't been bulking because I'm not doing that much working out. So I just don't want to put on weight that isn't that's not going to go to my muscles.
Right, right.
But yeah, I will be slowly ramping that up as I get better physically. And yeah, I think fuel is definitely a really important factor. Fuel, sleep. Um,
How is your sleep right now? You've
Sleep,
optimized the fuck out of your room.
yeah,
How's it? I know that's just been recent, but like how has it been right now?
it's been good. So right now, uh, sometimes it goes through slight shifts. So right now, I've been shifting towards sleeping a tiny bit later. So I'm waking up around 7 usually. Before I was waking
Yeah.
up probably around 6:30. Um, and yeah, it's very consistent day to day. Like I usually sleep, you know, plus minus like 15 minutes. Um,
Fuck, that's good.
yeah, and I usually wake up plus minus 5 minutes, which is around 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Plus minus five.
Yeah. Like occasionally you might have the random like what's the word? Like
Outlier.
outlier, yeah. But just regularly, usually I wake up around 7 at the moment. It's pretty good.
Okay. And was there like a reason why you were pushing like sleeping a bit later? Like I mean I right now it sounds pretty good, but like what was the difference between 6:30 and 7 for you?
I think it all boils down to
Or was it
discipline.
just random?
Um, Usually at night, I get ready for bed at 9 p.m. And if I'm very
Yeah.
focused on my night routine, I can smash it out in, say, 45 to 50 minutes. But sometimes I might slip in a few tasks here and there, or I might spend a little bit too much time replying to people, um, maybe conversations that, aren't as pressing in the moment. And then I end up sleeping at 10:30 when I should be sleeping at
Hmm.
10. Little things like that.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm the
but yeah,
exact same.
a lot to improve. Has your sleep improved at all since last time we spoke? I mean, on the
Yes and no.
podcast. Yeah.
Yes and no. Nah, the last time we spoke yesterday. No, earlier today. Yeah. I slept at work.
Yeah.
Nah, my sleep has improved, yes and no. Um, the whole of last week was pretty messed because okay, no real excuse, but look, I'll give an explanation.
Hmm.
The I still struggle to wind down at the end of work, especially if I come home late. Then especially if I feel like I don't really like the term stressed, but it's more like I genuinely feel like the willpower is draining from my fucking body, my soul throughout the day.
Hmm.
And then when I get home, it's more easy to just like mindless scrolling has found its way back into my life and I have to cut it out because it hasn't done anything for me.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, eating a bit late as well. I feel like I feel like I'm almost gonna flip the, like intermittent fasting and stuff. I
Hmm.
won't go too deep into this, but essentially, normally intermittent fasting, you want an extended fasting period. People generally cut out breakfast and then just eat from later in the day until later in the night. But I feel like I want to just start eating in the morning and then stop eating a lot earlier.
Right.
Like 6 p.m. cutoff max, I think. Like 5 or 6. I'll try to cut it off there. Um, just because every single time I eat too much, like even a normal amount of food, or oftentimes I overeat at night because my willpower has been drained throughout the day because I've been sticking to really clean eating throughout the day. And then it's like high workload, high emotional load, high everything. End of the day, much easier to like slip into bad habits and
Hmm.
old habits.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's been massively impacting sleep. So yesterday, I actually slept like a fucking baby. Oh, close enough. Like not perfect sleep, but pretty decent. Because I actually stopped eating at like 6:15 or something.
Oh,
And I exercised so hard throughout the day. Um, I was tired and wound down, however you want to say that, pretty early. So I didn't have much pressure to do shit at night. But normally I have a lot of pressure to like do stuff because all day I'm at work.
mm,
So yeah, sleep has been up and down. I had some pretty shit scores on the Garmin and on the Sleep Cycle app. So I've been tracking with both.
yep.
They're actually surprisingly like consistent with each other, which means at least something.
Yeah, there's less
So
random variation.
yeah, it's not like they're just spitting out bullshit, right? It's like if I get 75 on the Garmin, I might get like 78 on the Sleep Cycle app.
Mm.
If I get 87 on one, I might get like 88 on the other. It's
Okay.
pretty nice.
Yeah, yeah.
And they give slightly different data as well.
Mm.
But I found that after you told me to look into the Sleep Cycle app, the the main shocker that came to my attention is that I'm sleeping way fucking less than I thought I was.
Right, because
Like
you're waking up in the middle of the night or because it takes you a long time to fall asleep?
neither. I don't know. Like I don't take that long to fall asleep, and um I don't really wake up that much nowadays, which
Right.
is good. But it also might mean I'm so fucking exhausted. Um but it's just like I just look, in bedtime, 7 hours 45 minutes. Asleep, 6 hours 13 minutes.
Damn.
Like like what the fuck just happened?
That sounds very similar to mine, yeah. Is it it could be the depth of sleep. Like maybe it doesn't count light phases as or it doesn't weigh it as heavily.
Yeah, like it's wild. And I think like whether I had this data or not, I think it feels correct because lately my sleep hasn't felt as restorative when I woke up. So
Mm.
back when I was a free man, when I didn't have work or uni last year, like for that window of a couple months, bro, my every morning I would wake up and I was like, bang, let's take on the day.
Fuck.
The energy was incredible. I'd rolled out of bed 5 seconds, I'd be up. Like I open my eyes 5 seconds out of bed, start doing push-ups, start doing stretches, go through everything. And it
Holy
was just,
shit.
I don't know, that focus and the restoration doesn't seem to be happening anymore for the past like month or two.
Hmm.
Which honestly, ever since I got back from China, so I traveled overseas in November last year. So it's been like 4 months. Ever since then, I've never quite gone back to what it was before that.
Interesting. How much of that do you think is attributed to your current job? Or is it that you just lost a lot of that momentum after China? So um whether you would be working now or not, would that sleep have like gotten any better?
I think both. I The main thing was the disruption of the momentum.
Hmm.
Um, but to be honest, I think it was slightly starting to happen before I went back to China already. I was starting to fray, but the beauty of those periods when I didn't have like work or uni and stuff, it was I all to think about it this way, my full-time job was self-improvement.
Hmm.
So all I did was journal and look at what the fuck I was doing. So every day, if I messed up, the next day I would just focus on that. Um, yeah, that was literally my occupation.
That is sick.
So then when I lose momentum, so it's like on your point of would I have recovered or done better if I didn't have this job right now? Yes, for sure. Like I can't blame the job, but it's more like I can't recover my rhythm as fast because I'm not spending, 99% of my time on self-improvement.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool to see you making so much progress right now. Obviously, you might feel like also you're fucking up a lot, but you're clearly in a hyper acceleration period
Mm.
because you're kind of going all in. Your full-time job right now is learning and developing, literally.
Yeah. I
Like that's
really
pretty
need to take
sick.
advantage of this moment. Um, do you think that you're able to so during that time before China, would you say that 100% of your mind was focused on self-improvement?
Basically. Basically. I was still my progress wasn't linear by any means. I still struggled heaps, but that's just because I'm just like shit at this stuff, right? Like we all are at the start.
Hmm.
So I was struggling a lot, but it was like I was fully immersed in just that self improvement zone. I was in the flow every day, 24/7. My shower thoughts are about that. I was writing like content plans about this stuff.
Mm,
I was journaling about it. I was listening to it and stuff like this. So all I consumed, processed, and produced was all on one topic, and it's just like self improvement habits.
oh,
And so it's like even when I mess up severely, there is no chance that I won't correct it within the next week because it's like I'm staring at this shit every single day.
mm,
It's like you just spill a massive bucket of paint in your living room. Like if you don't go to the living room, then you're not gonna notice it. But
yeah,
if you let's say you spill it in your bedroom, yeah, you have to walk past every single fucking day. Like you're gonna clean it up. That's kind of what it felt like.
yeah.
Right. So that I was living in that room every day, so I couldn't just leave the mess be.
I
Um,
see. This is kind of a weird question, but do you think it's possible to go above 100%? So to condense all of that time that you had before, um, could you like enter this hyper focused state now to um I guess like achieve similar levels of self-improvement in less time? Or is that I guess that activity really dependent on the amount of time that you put in?
mm, I think it's probably intensity. Right. That's literally how PTSD works. Right. Like the intensity of the experience. We also have less than 1 minute left in this
Yep.
meeting. The
1 minute, keep
intensity
going.
of the experience is probably what we're looking for. It's just that most of the time, that intensity can't go too high, or else you can't metabolize the experience, which turns into PTSD. So
Hmm.
it's like stress on a muscle. It's actually just the sheer amount of tension the muscles, like the stress of the muscle experiences. But it's unlikely to be able to sustainably experience that without injury, if it's all in one go. So you need to do it over time, over the week.
I see.
So instead of 50 sets per day, it's 25 sets per week.
Yep.
All right. Yeah.
That's a good
It's like
summary.
5 6 left. Super good session.
Good shit, man.
All right.
Hey,
No,
I'll catch
I'm
you next week.
grateful. All right. See you, mate.
Good man. See ya.